All right, welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today we're going deep, like really deep, into the heart of China.
Deeper than we've ever gone before.
That's right, we're talking about three specific provinces: Hunan, Jiangxi, and Shandong. And man, do we have a lot to cover. Culture, history, food, nature, you name it. We've got notes and research on it all.
Enough to fill a library, seriously.
Yeah, but don't worry, we're not going to bore you with every single detail. We're here to give you like a highlight reel, the juiciest bits, the stuff that'll make you say, whoa, I had no idea.
Exactly. We're going to give you a taste of what makes these provinces so unique so you can walk away with a real appreciation for their diversity and how they all fit into the bigger picture of China.
So, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, first stop, Hunan. And, when I think of Hunan, I immediately think of the food.
Shan cuisine, right?
Yeah, Shan cuisine. It's all about bold flavors: chili peppers, garlic, shallots. They really go all out. Our sources say signature dishes include spicy steamed fish head. Now that sounds intense. And Chairman Mao's red braised pork, which has got to have some serious history behind it.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a classic dish, and yeah, that spice level is no joke. It's interesting to think about how the climate in Hunan, being humid and subtropical, might have played a role in developing those strong flavors.
Makes sense, right? Maybe as a way to preserve food or even combat the dampness.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's not just the food that's vibrant in Hunan. They've got this amazing tradition of Shang embroidery, super intricate designs and vivid colors, usually depicting nature scenes and animals, real works of art.
I've seen some pictures. It's incredible.
And then there's Shang opera, which is another big part of their culture. It's known for its percussive music and expressive storytelling, really rooted in the local experience.
So, from those sensory experiences, let's jump to history. Hunan's got some seriously significant historical sites. We've got the Mawangdui Han tombs near Tangsha. Those are like a time capsule, right?
They really are. They offer this unbelievable glimpse into life during the Western Han Dynasty, which is, what, over 2,000 years ago?
Mind-blowing.
I know, right? The things they found there is silk texts, perfectly preserved lacquerware, even evidence of early medical practices. It's like stepping back in time.
So cool. And of course, we can't talk about Hunan's history without mentioning Chairman Mao. He was born there, right? So the province has this special connection to 20th central China.
Absolutely. A place with a lot of historical weight.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not all ancient history in Hunan. They've got traditions that are still very much alive today, like the Dragon Boat Festival coming up on March 17th in 2025, according to our notes. That's a big one, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge. Those dragon boat races are intense, and then everyone's eating zanzi, those sticky rice dumplings wrapped in bamboo leaves.
Oh, it's delicious.
They are. It's a great example of how they honor historical figures, like the poet Kuo Yuan, through these lively traditions.
Speaking of lively, let's not forget about Hoguksi. It's a popular form of Chinese opera, right? Unique to Hunan.
Yeah, it's very much a local thing. It's known for being really accessible, with stories that resonate with people and music that's super catchy.
Okay, so back to the food for a second, because I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Our notes mention all these spicy dishes: smoked and cured meats, things like spicy chicken and stir-fried beef. Like, if you don't like spicy food, you might struggle in Hunan.
You might want to keep a glass of water handy, that's for sure. They really embrace those strong flavors. The smoking and curing, though, that's also about tradition, right? Preserving food in that climate.
Makes you appreciate the resourcefulness, right?
Totally. But Hunan's not all about the spice. They've got some amazing nature, too. Have you seen pictures of Zhangjiajie National Forest Park?
Oh, yeah. Those crazy sandstone pillars. Weren't they the inspiration for the floating mountains in Avatar?
That's the place. It's surreal. And it's not just a pretty sight, it's also got this incredible biodiversity with rare plants and those cheeky macaque monkeys.
Oh, yeah, those monkeys are known for getting into trouble, I hear.
Always up to something.
So you've got spicy food, ancient history, vibrant traditions, stunning nature. And then to top it off, Hunan's produced some seriously talented people. Like the painter Qi Baishi, his work is so distinctive.
Oh, yeah. His style is instantly recognizable. And then you got Lu Wen, the supermodel. She's from Hunan too, right?
Yep, taking Hunan to the global stage.
It's amazing to see the range of talent that comes from one province. And speaking of style, the traditional clothing of the Miao and Tuji minorities is something else. The embroidery and the silver ornaments, it's so intricate and
Yeah.
beautiful.
Really highlights the cultural diversity within the province. And speaking of visual treats, let's talk architecture. Fenghuang Ancient Town, have you seen pictures of this place?
With the houses built on stilts over the river, yeah, it's like stepping back in time.
Exactly, a perfectly preserved slice of history. And then you've got Changsha, the capital, which is this blend of the historical and the modern.
I read that they have another UNESCO site, the Wollingwen Scenic Area, with more of those incredible sandstone pillars. It's like nature's own architecture, right?
It's mind-blowing. Okay, last thing about Hunan before we move on. The language. Shang dialect, or Hunanese. Our notes say it's got its own unique sounds and
Oh
words.
yeah, it's quite different from Mandarin. It's a big part of what makes Hunan culturally unique.
For sure.
Hmm.
Okay, let's shift gears now and head over to Jiangxi province. What jumps out at you about this one?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is the art, especially the porcelain.
Oh yeah, Jingdisen. That's like porcelain heaven, right?
The porcelain capital of China, literally. The craftsmanship there is legendary, centuries of tradition.
That level of skill, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's truly remarkable. And it's not just about making pretty things, it's about a deep connection with the materials, with the earth. And Jiangyi's also big on tea. You know, they've got the famous Lushan Yunwu tea, a really high-quality variety.
So art and tea lovers, take note.
Definitely.
Now, Jiangxi also played a huge role in China's revolution. The Nanjing Uprising in 1927, that was a turning point, wasn't it?
Absolutely pivotal. It's considered the birth of the People's Liberation Army.
Mhm.
Jiangxi was a major base for the communist movement back then.
So a lot of modern history tied up in this province, but then alongside that, you've got these ancient traditions still going strong, like Nua opera. I was reading about that.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating because it's a really old form of theater with dance, music, costumes, the whole works. It was traditionally used to ward off evil and bring good luck.
So like a spiritual performance.
Exactly. It gives you a sense of the beliefs and rituals that have been around for centuries in this region. And then they've got Ganju too, which is another type of opera, but this one uses the local Gan dialect.
Wow, so many layers of culture. Okay, let's get to the food. What's Gan cuisine like?
You know, it's funny, we've got bold flavors again. They seem to like it spicy in this part of China. Spicy fish head makes another appearance, and stir-fried rice noodles are a big deal too.
Spicy fish head seems to be a trend. I'm sensing a theme here.
Haha, maybe. But the pickling and fermenting, that's another interesting element. Preserving food, adding flavor, it's all part of the tradition.
Resourceful and delicious. I like it.
Speaking of resources, Jiangxi's got its share of natural booty too. Lushan National Park is a must-see, apparently. A UNESCO site with all sorts of ecosystems and unique plants and animals.
Sounds like a nature lover's paradise.
It is. And Jiangxi has produced some impressive figures throughout history. Ouyang Zhu, he was a big deal scholar during the Song dynasty.
I remember reading about him, yeah.
And then there's Yan Longping, the father of hybrid rice. His work has literally helped feed millions.
It's amazing the impact people from this one province have had. Speaking of impact, the architecture in Jiangxi is something else. The Tangwang Pavilion in Nanchang, that's a classic, right?
Oh yeah, it's this elegant traditional pavilion celebrated in literature for centuries, an iconic landmark. And then you've got Mount Sanking, this sacred Taoist mountain with incredible granite formations.
Sacred and scenic, a winning combo.
Exactly, a place of spiritual and natural significance.
All right, last bit on Jiangxi, the Gan dialect. So we've got another distinct regional language here, adding to the linguistic diversity of China.
It really shows you that Chinese isn't just one language, it's this whole family of languages, each with its own history and cultural significance.
A great point. Okay, ready for our final stop? Let's head north to Shandong province.
Shandong. Now, this one is often called the cradle of Chinese civilization.
Cradle of Culture. That's a pretty serious title. Our notes say it's the heartland of Qilu culture, which comes from the ancient states of Qi and Lu. And of course, Confucius was from Lumen.
Exactly. So Confucian ideals are deeply rooted in this region. Think benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, trustworthiness. These core values that have influenced Chinese society for centuries.
It's amazing to think those ideas originated right there in Shandong.
It is. And their history goes even further back. You've got these prehistoric cultures, the Basin, Dawenko, and Longshan cultures, evidence of advanced societies existing in Shandong thousands of years ago.
Wow, so Shandong has been a cultural hub for a very long time.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget Mencius, another major Confucian philosopher. He was from Shandong too. So the province really is the birthplace of some of China's most foundational philosophical ideas.
And it seems like they still celebrate those roots today, right? We've got the International Confucius Cultural Festival in Quofu. That's got to be a big event.
It draws people from all over. And then you've got the folk arts, like the Waifang kites. Have you seen those? They're incredible, so intricate and
I
colorful.
haven't seen them in person, but the pictures are amazing.
And the Yangjiabu New Year paintings, another tradition that's kept alive in Shandong, those are beautiful too.
It's great that they're keeping these traditions alive. It speaks to a real appreciation for their heritage. Okay, let's talk music. Shandong's got a rich musical scene too, right?
Absolutely. There's Maocan Opera, which is from Jiaozhou, known for its regional songs and dances, and its unique instruments like the jinggu, this two-stringed fiddle.
Sounds very distinct. And then, of course, the folk songs. Our notes say some of those melodies are centuries old.
It's amazing how music can transport you back in time, right? You can almost hear the echoes of history in those melodies.
For sure. Okay, let's talk food again, because Shandong cuisine is something special. Lu cuisine, right? It's considered one of the 8 culinary traditions of China.
That's a big deal. It's known for emphasizing fresh, high-quality ingredients, and the cooking techniques can be quite elaborate. It's a cuisine that's influenced a lot of other regional styles.
Our notes mention Boshan cuisine from Zibo as a particular highlight, and local specialties like Shanxian lamb soup, peony cake, and Pijia roast chicken. Makes my mouth water just thinking about it.
Shandong cuisine definitely has something for everyone.
All right, let's not forget about nature. We've got Hai's, the capital of Pyrenees. Now that's got to be a sight to see during blooming
I
season.
can only imagine fields of peonies, all colors. It must be incredible. And they've got a variety of wildlife too, like the oriental stork and the Chinese giant salamander.
Giant salamander, wow. Shandong clearly has a lot to offer nature lovers.
It does. And let's not forget about some of the influential figures who hail from Shandong. You've got Mo Yan, the Nobel Prize-winning author.
His books are incredible, so powerful. And then, of course, there's the enduring legacy of Confucius. His influence is still felt all over China and beyond.
It's incredible how his teachings have resonated for so long. And then you see those traditional garments, the hanfu and the cheongsam, still worn for special occasions, keeping those visual connections to the past alive.
It's a beautiful thing. Okay, let's talk architecture. Shandong seems to have this fascinating blend of ancient and modern. We've got the Great Wall of Qi, which is apparently the oldest existing section of the Great Wall.
That's amazing. Talk about a glimpse into history. And then alongside that, you've got ancient temples like Nanshan Temple, and then, of course, the modern cities like Jinan and Qingdao with their skyscrapers and bustling streets.
It's like a living timeline, past, present, future, all coexisting.
It really speaks to Shandong's dynamic spirit, its ability to embrace progress while honoring its past.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's mention a few key destinations for anyone thinking of visiting Shandong. Quofu, the birthplace of Confucius, is obviously a must-see.
Definitely. The temple and cemetery there are incredibly significant sites. And then there's Mount Tai, one of China's 5 great mountains and a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Stunning scenery and cultural significance, what more could you ask for? And then, of course, there's Zibo, which has become super trendy lately.
Oh yeah, Zibo's having a moment, especially known for its barbecue.
I've heard it's amazing. Okay, last but not least, the languages. Shandong's got the Jilu and Jiulio Mandarin dialects, including the specific Zibo dialect. So even within Mandarin, there's so much variation, right?
It really highlights the diversity of spoken Chinese. And, a lot of the proverbs in these dialects reflect Confucian values.
Which shows just how deeply ingrained those values are, even in everyday language.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this epic deep dive into Hunan, Jiangxi, and Shandong, it's been an incredible journey. Each province has its own unique flavor, its own story to tell, its own contribution to the larger tapestry of Chinese culture.
We've covered a lot of ground. We've only scratched the surface. We've seen the fiery flavors and artistic traditions of Hunan, the revolutionary spirit and porcelain artistry of Jiangxi, and the profound cultural roots and philosophical legacy of Shandong.
And as we sign off, we want to leave you with this thought. As you reflect on what we've discussed, what resonated with you the most, what sparked your curiosity? Maybe it's the spicy food of Hunan, or the porcelain of Jiangxi, or the Confucian philosophy of Shandong. Whatever it is, we encourage you to dive deeper, to explore further, to keep learning and discovering the incredible diversity and richness of China.
Because there's always more to discover, isn't there? And each discovery adds another layer to our understanding of this fascinating country and its people. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.
Happy exploring.